The Nike Zoom Fly 6 is finally here. But is this new shoe from Nike a super trainer or not? There's only one way to find out. Hello everybody and welcome to FORDY Runs. My name is Chris Ford. I'm a running and athletics coach based here in the UK, and when I'm not coaching runners, I'm making YouTube videos about running shoes, coaching and all that kind of running related stuff. And today I'm very excited because we've got the brand new Nike Zoom Fly 6 on the channel. So how this video is going to work, I'm going to tell you what's new with the Nike Zoom Fly 6. We're going to talk about the stats and features. We're going to discuss what the ride is like. I'm going to tell you the sort of shoes that I think it goes up against and whether it's better than those or not. We're going to talk briefly about a rotation and where this shoe would fit in. Then I'm going to wrap it all up at the end and we're going to find out whether the Nike Zoom Fly 6 is actually a super trainer or not. Okay people, so welcome to FORDY Runs. Hopefully you've all subscribed to this YouTube channel. If you haven't, please do so now because we're trying to get to 22 million subscribers, which should be achievable in 2025. So the Nike Zoom Fly 6, where do we start? Right, so firstly, let's go back in time. So the previous Zoom Fly shoes from Nike, well, what's the best way to describe them? Heavy and, well, not very good. And that's simply down to the fact that the other shoes that came out, the other super trainers that came out, blew it out of the water. And Nike of late have not been very good with their running shoes, other than like the Alpha and the Vaporfly. All the other shoes have not been very good. But in 2024, we've seen some green shoots, some glimmers of hope that Nike are finally on their way back. And I'm really pleased that the Zoom Fly 6 has made it in 2024, just snuck in at the last minute, because I think this could save Nike. Now, the reason I say that is because they really do need a good super trainer. So super trainers are shoes that have come about because they've got some of the premium foams in there, some of the technology from the racing shoes has sort of filtered down into more, well, versatile shoes. You can train in them, you can race in them, you can do your workouts in them, all that kind of thing. They've got to be more versatile than your sort of race day shoe, that premium shoe that you would hold back for race day. And we've seen some very good shoes come out over the years. We've seen the Speed from Saucony, we've got the Hyperion Max 2 from Brooks this year, obviously you've got the Adidas Boston 12. But Nike's Nike Zoom Fly has never really held its own against those shoes. And that was why I was so keen to get this on the channel. Because I am someone who uses a super trainer in my training. Now, if you don't know me as a runner, I've just completed 3 marathons this year. I did London, Berlin and the Yorkshire Marathon. I ran a sub 4 marathon. My half PB's 1:35. My 10k PB's down at like 41, 42 minutes. And I have broke the magic 20 minutes in the 5k, but it was a struggle. So that's kind of me as a runner. I'm usually training for marathons and doing marathon blocks. So for me, super trainers are really key because I do use them in my week of running. I tend to use them more on sort of longer runs with goal pacing, but I will pull them out occasionally for those workouts in the week. So again, it needs to be versatile. And for me in a super trainer, I'm looking for something with a really good responsive foam, something that's not overly heavy, and as always, it makes me feel awesome. Okay, so that's enough about what I'm looking for in a super trainer. Let's talk about the stats and features of the Zoom Fly 6. Okay, so this Kipchoge approved and tested super trainer is £155. We've got a dual foam setup with the Zoom X on top. Gone as the recycled stuff from the previous model. We've got the SR02 on the bottom to provide a stable and durable shoe and ride. We've got a 2-layer woven mesh upper. We've got a thin rubber outsole. The stack height is a whopping 42 millimeters in the heel down to 34 millimeters. That's 8 mil for all you mathematicians. The shoe is 10% lighter than the V5 and mine is weighing in at 9.5 ounces, about 270 grams, and it fits true to size. Right, so let's have a closer look at the shoe. So firstly, here's the upper. As I said to you, we've got this 2-layered woven mesh upper on the shoe, which I think is actually quite nice. There's the 2 foam setup. So we've got Zoom X on here, even though Zoom X is written down here, we've got Zoom X running along the top, and this is the SR02. This has been found in other Nike shoes. You've got this cutout here, which I think is more aesthetics than anything else. And then sandwiched between the 2 foams is the fly plate. Here's the outsole, which has got good traction and good durability in terms of the thickness of the rubber. I think you're going to get plenty of miles on this. Now, if we do take, oh, come on camera, if we do take a closer look, the SR2 is already scratched up a little bit along the bottom, but actually so far with the limited miles, and I'll come on to that in just a second, it's okay, it's fine, it's absolutely no problem at all. And like I said, the outsole is good. You've got a gusseted racing tongue, right amount of cushion in the heel, nice bit of padding to make it comfortable. It's quite skinny in the heel. If you look at my face out of the camera, you'll focus, but yeah, it's quite skinny in the heel, if you see what I mean. And if you just compare that to the Saucony, you'll see what I mean. Lacing's okay, it's not brilliant, but it's okay. And that's probably about that. Okay, so I talk about the mileage. Right, so this video is a first impressions. I've just finished a marathon on Sunday, and the miles that I've done in the shoe is coming back from the marathon. You can track all my mileage on Strava. It's there for you all to see. But the runs I've done since coming back from my marathon last week have all been in this shoe. Now, we will follow up with a video on this shoe once we've got more miles in them. I'm going to be starting another training block soon, so we will start using this more, so some of those longer runs and things like that, and then we'll come back and do a follow-up video like we always do on this channel. Okay, so let's talk about the ride. It's so vastly improved versus the previous version. The SR02 works well with the Zoom X, so you do get that nice soft bounce off the top layer, but then you get the stability below, so it sort of irons out the ride. So it works very well with the carbon plate. Now, the carbon plate doesn't feel that aggressive in the shoe, which I think is a good thing. Interestingly enough, I did feel the arch a little bit on the first run, but on the second and third runs, I didn't notice it at all. But on the first run, I did notice the arch. Didn't give me any blistering or anything like that, but it was noticeable. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Now, the upper's a funny thing. It kind of takes me back to version 3. Very similar feeling upper, which I actually quite like. So overall, the package in terms of the ride on these initial runs was working quite well. Did it blow the doors off? No. But it's so much improved versus the previous version, I can't tell you. The sort of biggest compliment I can give the shoe, and hopefully you agree it's a compliment, is that it's like a Vomero 17, but with a carbon plate in it. Now, the Vomero 17 is the best daily trainer from Nike. Maybe the Pegasus Turbo, the new one. But no, the Vomero is a very, very capable and underestimated daily trainer. And it kind of feels similar to that, but just chucking a carbon plate in it. So that's, I think, a good thing, because the Vomero is a very good shoe. So that's kind of where I'm at. So now let's talk about what this goes up against. Now, we will do a versus video, but the first shoes that spring to mind are the Boston 12, the Hyperion Max 2 and the Speed 4. Now, for me, the Speed 4 is the more competent and versatile shoe, and I think the ride's a little bit better. It's also a little bit more stable, I would say. This is a lot softer than a Boston 12, and I think it works well for anybody who finds the Boston 12 too firm. This is also softer than the Hyperion Max 2. Now, the Hyperion Max 2 is more stable, and I think, again, a little bit more versatile, but this definitely feels a little bit more springy and a little bit more, well, alive underfoot versus the Hyperion Max 2, which is a very, very good shoe, by the way. But this, with the Zoom X foam in the shoe, just feels a little bit more alive underfoot. But like I said, the Hyperion Max 2 is, I would say, more versatile because it's more stable. You can do a little bit more on it. I wouldn't necessarily want to go super long in this. I'd happily do that in the Hyperion Max 2. And actually, I have done. Now, my favourite super trainer at the moment is the SC Trainer version 3 from New Balance. Now, I can't recommend that to anybody because it's £230. But I really love that shoe for marathon training. It's wide. I get a really nice feedback from the foam. The plate works well in there. The upper works well in there. The whole shoe, the whole package just works really well for me. But it's a lot more sort of dense feeling than this. It doesn't feel as springy, it doesn't feel as energetic as this. But that's because I prefer that shoe, I think, for the longer runs. This shoe, I think, is great for those sort of low to medium distance runs that you may be doing. Maybe some of those tempo workouts. For example, you could take this into a half marathon, no problem at all, and have a great run in it. But yeah, they're the shoes it probably goes up against. Another shout out is probably for the Deviate Nitro 3, but that does fit narrow. But that's probably, again, another shoe that this feels a little bit softer because of the top layer of Zoom X, but that's, again, closely matched to this. So I think it would come down to personal preference, i.e. like fit and feel. Right, so let's talk briefly about rotation as well. So I would stick the Zoom Fly 6 in the middle. I'd have a daily trainer, so whether that's the Vomero or the Pegasus Turbo, depends whether you want an up-tempo daily trainer or a sort of back to basics daily trainer, but the Vomero and the Pegasus Turbo would sit over here. And then over here, I would go for the Vaporfly 3. Vaporfly 3 for race day, for some of those like really hard intervals that you're going to be doing. And then I would stick this in the middle for those longer runs with goal pace work in it. Maybe you're going to do a half marathon and you want to, I don't know, try out some stuff. I would use this. And then, like I said, you've got your daily stuff down here, but if you've got the Peg Turbo, you could do some of those faster workouts as well. So for me, that would be the perfect Nike rotation. Okay, people, so look, let's try and wrap this up. Again, remember, this is only a first impressions. I have run in the shoe multiple times, and you can see all of that on my Strava. And my initial feedback is this. We need to go away and do more miles in the shoe, but my initial impressions are that this is a vastly improved shoe. It is a shoe that is coming into the Super Trainer world. Whether it is strong enough to go up against the Speed 4 and the Hyperion Max 2 over time to do all of those workouts that I've spoken about today, we will have to come back and let you know. But my initial impression is I like it. I don't see there's much here to dislike. Maybe the carrier foam is a little bit too strong in terms of they probably could have done with a little bit less of it. I don't know. But again, they've sort of balanced that out to make it not so unstable. So, you know, it is a balancing act. They've come in with a weight, you know, that's not too bad, 270 grams. They've come in with a price that I think works as well at £155. They made it look pretty good, which I think is important as well. And I think the outsole needs a bit of love as well because it's got a very good outsole on it. So yes, there we go. I like what we've got here. I like the Zoom Fly 6 at the moment. You know, I can't be any more honest than that. We will come back and let you know, as always on this channel, I'll give you my honest and open impressions once we put some more miles on the shoe, but that's where I'm at with this shoe. Okay team, so let me know in the comments whether you're going to be grabbing the Zoom Fly 6. Let me know if you've already got it, what you think of it. Don't forget to subscribe. Remember, 22 million subscribers we're trying to get to. But that's it from me, guys. I'll catch you later.